recording, so officially a very big welcome to all of you on this really fascinating, powerful, energetic day, the 26th of February, with the partial solar eclipse that we're experiencing at the moment. So I'm hoping everybody here, we've got a thumbs up, hoping everybody can actually hear me fine as we go into this particular session. And thank you all for being here and sharing in the diamond space with us and adding your energies to this process. As always, love the fact that you guys are here, so we're good to go. Okay, so we have not just the solar eclipse, we also have a new moon today. So the new moon is also the dark moon. So there's a lot of talk about and a lot of energetic influence around darkness and the unconscious, which is actually impacting us at the moment on this really powerful window. So it's a new moon solar eclipse. And they've been sort of looking at the astrological and the energetic influences. There are a couple of different astrologers, and there's one I mentioned offline. I'm going to send you all the link to a new article that I've only just received from Elaine in our gathering, and she shared it with me. And the title that particular astrologer used for the time that we're in at the moment is "The Shell is Cracking," and that's exactly what it is. Everything that we have thought that we could hold tightly within our own cocooned little space is actually breaking open and spilling out. All of the stuff is spilling out so that we can get to realize ourselves as that butterfly. So it's like there's a real emergence from the cocoon at the moment. And that butterfly effect also brings with it the essence and energy of freedom, which is really what this time is actually all about. It's experiencing what the freedom really means for us, not what we thought it would mean, but what it really means to be free within our spiritual purpose, within our spiritual selves, in sacred relationship to ourselves. That's really one of the keys at the moment, is being in sacred relationship with ourselves, and that's the code that we're going to be using in the process today. But the other astrological article that I found also described this time as the wish. So it's an opportunity for our dreams to actually come true. It's an opportunity over the next 6 months between now and the next eclipse window, the next powerful eclipses, to really take the steps forward to be able to make our dreams reality. But there are a couple of cautionary notes here, so I'll go through those as we have a look at the slides. So let's have a look here. So the wish. This particular new moon solar eclipse is dominated by the spiritual planet Neptune. It provides us with an opportunity to turn dreams into reality over the coming months. But in order to do that, we need to release more of the dross, release more of the patterns. There's a real pressure from within to step up into this new space, into the reality of living our purpose from the deepest level. It is a happy and magical time if we surrender to that flow and actually allow it to be a part of our visioning, be a part of our experience. It is about having humility and gratitude to higher power. So in that space is automatically an element, an aspect of surrender. We can't experience humility without surrendering to our higher power. It's not about extravagance and selfishness. So that also begins to perhaps define what I was talking about offline, this ability to discern where we may engage in fanciful, wishful thinking in respect of our dreams, because sometimes that thinking is orientated towards selfish ideas, if you like, about what we think our lives should be like. You know, fake it till you make it, wish and it can come true, you know, the kind of wishing upon a star, versus the real hard work with you and being in humility and gratitude to the higher power for bringing us to this place. We were brought into this particular lifetime for these moments, for these times that we are in. Very powerful times. Solar eclipses also always mark the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. So we know that we've already initiated the new cycle through the numerological influences of this number 1 year. This is almost really the gateway into that new cycle, fully into that cycle. Sarah Varkas, who's one of my favorite astrologers, describes this as being long overdue endings and fresh starts. So it's where we may have been delaying or putting off, walking away from something, being able to end something, to say goodbye to an aspect of ourselves, to an aspect of our lives that needs to be refreshed and renewed. So really about fresh starts. It's about rising above physical limitations and going beyond those fears that say, I can't do this, moving through the challenges. So into a space where I can, and I can do it one step at a time. So it's really rising above what we may have perceived as physical limitations. It is an internal and external pressure to move us in new directions. That's that pressure of breaking free from the cocoon, breaking out of the cocoon, breaking the eggshell, the new life being born. So many of you may have experienced a lot more of that pressure in the build-up to today. It's the alignments and the configurations of various planets as well that are in Aries at the moment. I think we've got Mars, we've got Venus, we've got Chiron in Aries, really have an incredibly deep, powerful effect for fresh starts. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of get up and go energy in order to initiate those fresh starts in our lives. This time is also about enduring and positive effects on relationships. And relationships was a theme that we also hit on and was very prevalent during the lunar eclipse on the 11th. So you can kind of see the thread that's running through all of this. Most of all, I think what is most important, and that's really where I want to focus on today, is our relationship with ourselves, which is why I mentioned this whole aspect of sacred relationship. It's about awakening the dreamer and waking up within the dream. So it's being able to see things with an entirely and fresh new perspective. And being in acceptance, you know, there's that wonderful adage that says as well, you can't change something unless you first accept what is. So we have to be in that space of humility, surrender, and acceptance in order to begin to change. And so often, what I see in sort of working through in the spiritual environment, particularly as well, is this denial of what we are uncomfortable with. Denial of certain things on the world stage, instead of going into the darkness of the shadows of those and looking at our own projections into that, we turn away from that discomfort and we go into denial. So this is really about that full awakening and being able to rest into total acceptance of what is, in order to be able to manifest our role in changing what is, which is ultimately our purpose and reason for being here. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you guys. I've got a little bit here, and I love this because with Neptune being the dominant planet at the moment, this gives a little bit of insight into Neptune's energies and the influence that Neptune is having. And this is a different astrologer called Belinda Dunn, who was very succinct in putting together this information. And she says Neptune is a very difficult planetary energy to handle in earthly matters because it represents a quandary of potential confusion between appearances and reality. A good example is Neptune's function in cinema. During a compelling movie, it is easy to get lost in the scenes, meld into the story, lose personal orientation and perspective. Upon leaving the theatre, there is an adjustment as one's senses adapt for re-entry into common everyday reality. So what this really speaks about is us being the bridge and being in a space of constant adaptation between our inner reality and being able to project that reality out into the world, and recognizing that so much of what we see externally is part of the illusion. It's the movie that's playing. We really need to define reality. Yasmin has just said, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's the reality of that 3D consciousness and not getting caught up in the drama of what it is, but still being able to be the witness, to maintain perspective, so we don't turn our back on it. We bridge our inner reality, the spiritual reality, if you like, with that external, in inverted commas, reality. So Neptune is really providing us with a challenge of sorts at the moment in order to be able to do that. Neptune's influence is highly sensitizing, seductive, and addictive, and this is interesting. When Neptune is active, reality can feel like a hall of mirrors bordering on the bizarre, and there's no doubt about that. When you look outside at the world, some of it is just so bizarre, you actually think of some of these people really human, is it possible? Even the most sane people can find themselves questioning reality, living on the border between fact and fiction. So there's a real challenge to separate illusion from reality here. From a planetary standpoint, Neptune exaggerates all sorts of emotional and psychological conditions. So we're talking about the darkness, the unconscious, what sits within our unconscious, as it is the instinct to escape the harsh circumstances of physicality. Some personalities are more susceptible to these strong pulls, gravitating toward addiction and various modes of escapism. And I think that's also one of the keys, sort of where do we escape into the love and light aspect of what we feel reality should be, perhaps, and then deny everything that is being projected from the unconscious, and then looking at the role that we play in maintaining some of those projections. So I hope that actually makes sense. So sometimes there is actual escapism that takes place. So we are being called to examine some of those projections, some of those beliefs, some of those patterns, and to be able to step fully and to hold our space within the realm of projections, the sea of projections that we actually find ourselves in on an ongoing daily basis, even just going down to the shops. I'd often find myself wandering around as well and just looking at people and trying to see beyond the projection that is them to the spirit being that is still fast asleep inside of them. Sometimes you see people doing absolutely crazy things out there, and it really is a challenge to withhold judgment of that and to see beyond and to hold our space, because the minute we go into judgment, we've lost our center. So a very, very, I think a very challenging time for us at the moment. However, it holds the potential for the most incredible rewards. Okay, so synchronistically with us talking about relationships, again, I just love the way that things line up. We find ourselves at the moment, and again, this is from Mariella Meyer at mayankin.com. On February the 22nd, couple of days ago, we moved into the white dog wave spell, which is 13 days, governed by the energy and the essence of the white dog, bringing us the opportunity to step into the power of our authenticity and relationships. And again, we've got this relationship aspect. Authenticity, it's our relationship with self, our sacred relationship. So she says here, as we know, life is all about relationships with our parents, siblings, other family members, partners, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, pets, immediate environment, and anybody that crosses our path leaves an impression on us. So even when you are popping out to the shop, you basically, when you cross paths with someone, you have a relationship with them, even if that relationship is only for a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes. But our life is about relationships. We are who we are because of relationships. While we try to understand our life's experiences and circumstances based on our relationships, we tend to forget that it all starts with the relationship we have with our own self. So, self-love and happy relationships. Self-love, as we know, is a state of being. So in this wave spell is an opportunity to strengthen that sacred relationship with self and be in that space of self-love, to allow the purging, the releasing of all of that stuff that's demanding through the cracking of the shell, to be released or accepted. Also, there's another one. It's accepting everything that we are. It's about embracing all of who we are, including our imperfections, weaknesses, and shadows. Things bursting out so that we can see and embrace. It's about enjoying being with oneself and having self-compassion when we struggle as humans. And while we may recognize ourselves as spirit beings having a human experience, let's not deny that we are living within the realm of the physical experience. So it's important to embrace that and all that it entails, and to have compassion with ourselves through all of the experiences that we have. Self-love refers to being centered in our hearts. Self-centeredness is exactly the opposite of selfishness. So this is what the energies are calling for us to be self-centered. When we feel love within, we know we open our hearts to others in a loving interaction of giving, receiving from a place of joy and peace, and that is when the magic happens. So here we are, beautifully aligned with this eclipse that is talking about relationships, that is talking about authenticity, that is talking about freedom. And when we are centered in a place of joy and peace, we actually experience the immensity and the enormity of what that freedom really means. So we may be asked as well to re-examine our definitions of what we think free and freedom is actually all about. So there we are in the white dog wave spell. The white dog also represents love. Whenever that comes up in the Mayan Tolkien, it is about heart and it is about love, and especially self-love. So here we have today's influences from the Tolkien, if you like, and we're talking about magic, the essence turning dreams into reality. We're talking about being the wizards. The essence and energy of today is the white overtone wizard. It is governed by Lunatone 5, which is about empowerment and gathering resources. Now here we're talking about gathering internal resources in order for us to be able to create that practical magic that sees the real spirit manifestation, the dreams being turned into reality. So here you see this is the wave spell of the white dog. May the energy of the white wizard help me to create magic and understand that the power is within me. We talk about this quite often, but how many of us really connect with, feel and experience and know that power that we actually have within? I am guided by the power of communication. So this is the wind and spirit and communication. So it could also be said, I'm guided by the power of communication from spirit as it comes on the wind. So that's the essence and energy of today, according to the Tolkien. So there's a beautiful synchronistic alignment with everything that we are dealing with. So how can we work with these energies? What are the things that we need to also be aware of as we work with these energies going forward? Key is letting go. As I've mentioned, let go, let go, let go, surrender. In fact, it could be let go and let God in all of our earthly physical experiences. This energy is also calling for leaps of faith with the spirit of a warrior. So take a look around at things and events that happen in your lives and where you are required to take that leap of faith. Take a look at where you hesitate to step forward, where you hesitate to actually try something or do something new, to take that step into a new alignment and a different alignment. Then call on the spirit of the warrior within you in order to take you that step forward. Adopt a can-do approach, no matter how challenging things may seem. Take a look at your language. Be aware of where you say, I can't do X, Y, Z. And really focus and work on eliminating that can't do language from your vocabulary as you adopt a can-do approach. One step at a time is all it takes. Sometimes the dreams and the purpose that we connect with seem so big and so unreachable and unattainable that we stop ourselves in fear from even taking the first step. So claim your freedom and step into your uniqueness. Look for and welcome different ways to do things. So don't be afraid to actually change. Be very adaptable and flexible. Be okay. This is an interesting one. So be okay with the not knowing. And I know many of you are. We've been working together for quite a number of years, many of you who actually join in on these webcasts and calls. So we know that not knowing is just a really vital aspect. It's being comfortable in that space of I don't know. Because in the space of I don't know, we allow the truth to emerge. We allow the deeper knowing to emerge from within our hearts. But it's only being okay with the not knowing, if you like, that allows the wisdom to emerge from within us. The minute we think that we know everything, I think we constrain ourselves with a belief system that actually prevents us from truly being in that heart space, in that space of wisdom. Be aware of emotional surges because of Neptunian influence. It's quite likely that there may be emotional ebbs and flows over coming weeks. Be aware of these surges and be still enough to allow them to flow. Don't let them stick within you, if you like. Don't suppress or hold back from experiencing those surges. Allow them to flow because there's going to be a grace and a freedom in that emotional flow. Examine where you may be driven by wishful thinking as opposed to directed by deep inner purpose. This is what I was talking about earlier. Feel the fear and do it anyway, and that goes along with the leaps of faith and the spirit of the warrior. So I hope that actually is supportive and makes sense. And as I said, I'm going to send you the link also that Elaine sent earlier because there's some really lovely information in there. This particular woman talks about relationships from the perspective especially ancestral and parental, and that there's a great deal of healing that is taking place around the non-validation that we may have been programmed with through our parents and ancestral influences. So just be very aware of how your familial relationships may be affected and what emotional surges they may actually generate within you. as a consequence of this, because all of that is coming up for healing. And this is the light code that we're going to work with today. So this is sacred relationship. And I just love this one. When most of the time when I've actually seen it working with people, when I've actually been doing remote sessions, it kind of is like it's almost like a necklace that is so gracefully placed around the client's neck. And the pendant, this little chamber, if you like, sort of drops down and sits over their heart. And it's just such a beautiful analogy and energy that it brings with it. And of course, magenta is a color which represents spirit brought down to earth, spirit infusing matter. As if you think about the 7 colors of the chakras, the energy centers, the energy layers of the body, you work up from red to violet, and then you bring the opened, alive, awakened essence and spirit back down to earth. So from the violet of the crown, you bring that back down, you infuse matter with it, which is related to the physical world, and the red energy. And the minute you bring violet and red together, you have magenta. So magenta to me is always about infusing matter with the essence of spirit in a very powerful way. So very appropriate that this particular code is also came through and appeared in magenta, because when we allow that spirit to infuse the physicality of our being, we are in sacred relationship with ourselves, and we're able to hold the space. So does anybody have any questions or comments at all? Quite an amazing time. It's going to be fascinating to see how things actually roll out over the next 6 months or so, as we are in this window between this eclipse period and the next one in August. And it's interesting because the eclipse in August, I think the first one is actually on my birthday. I'm thinking, wow, that could be interesting. Renewal. I am also going to work, by the way, with Black Diamond today, because we're really talking about the darkness and the unconscious. So there's a couple of elements that we'll be bringing in. So I've just got Yasmina putting a comment in the chat room. She just says what you spoke about is absolutely one-to-one is what happens for me. Beautiful. At this time, it's like a showcase. Very interesting. Okay, so and Angelica says, I've had to work with some of these energies during my 5 weeks of suffering and struggling. Very interesting, Angelica. And that's, I think, the beauty of this is, and I think what's really important to be able to see is the purpose, that you can see the purpose in what has been happening over those 5 weeks, so over whatever time period you guys have been experiencing this internal pressure. And that it's bringing us to this moment and the opportunity to really step up and emerge in a very fresh new way. See, it feels very difficult when we are in it, and it's really hard, and then suddenly the light comes on and it's like, oh my goodness, okay, now I actually understand what this has all been about. So it really helps to know that we're on the right track, you know. And this whole thing about living our purpose, you know, I can remember going back to the early days of my spiritual journey as well. So, and that goes right back to 1998 and 99. And I remember being told then by a couple of the teachers that I was working with, some aspects of my purpose. And the idea that I had about living it at that time, it was so different to the reality of what it really means and what it has meant to live in that space. And in fact, I was quite fearful. It felt too big. It felt too big for me. Back then, but those were the early days, and there's been an incredible journey, and I'm sure for some of you, you would also have experienced the same thing, and suddenly you look and you go, I am actually living and being in my purpose, and it looks so different now to what I thought it would look like. And that's part of sifting through the illusion. It's kind of just on a day-to-day basis in a very simple way, is walking it. It doesn't have to be grandiose. We look out there at the teachers and at some of the teachers that are out there, and we really think that in order to live it, we need to live big and, sort of be on the world stage or wherever and be recognized in a really powerful way, whatever it might be. And it's not that at all. It's in every small way that this purpose is actually brought into being. Every time I do one single session, every time we gather together in these beautiful diamond gatherings, it's being in my purpose. And it's not the way that I expected it, but there is a beauty, and there is a love, and there is a rightness in all of this. So yeah, it's sort of look at where perhaps you may have become disillusioned on your journey because it didn't look the way you thought it should look. So, okay, without further ado, you guys are ready. Yasmina said, okay, working with these energies. So glad to hear I'm on the right track. Surprised I'm reading what I heard. Okay, interesting. So Angelica's been getting some messages and understandings through the last couple of weeks that are now coming into concretization. So you guys all ready? No more questions or comments? Everybody's so quiet today. So just take a few moments. I've left the code up here on the screen so that you can just embrace it and connect with it and feel it. Be aware of it. Feel it in your heart. Allow the patterning and the form to imprint through your optic nerves so that you will be able to recall it when we go into and through the process. Okay. And if you are happy with that, also just imagine this. This is two-dimensional. I just want to say this to you guys. This is two-dimensional here on the image, but just imagine it as a three-dimensional container, a vessel, within which you can hold aspects and the energy of your sacred self. So it's like a beautiful pendant that you would always wear around your neck. Okay, so if you guys are ready, just excuse me one moment, I'm just going to have a sip of water. Okay, so close your eyes. Make sure that you're comfortable. Rest into the space. Allow your arms to just rest, and your hands. Just rest gently on your thighs, feet flat on the floor. And begin, as always, by taking your attention to your breath, to your breathing. As you breathe in deeply, in and out. allowing yourself to rest, to surrender into this place and space. Safe in the knowledge that you are held, protected, and guided in all ways. Just breathe, allowing the air to flow gently in through your nostrils down into your body, without forcing anything, like the flow of water in and out. And invoke your diamond field around you. All you really need to do is to set the intention, and it is there, centered at the base of your spine, reaching up and down, connecting Earth Star and Soul Star, holding you poised, balanced, aligned, and centered within your sacred space. Your diamond space. And expand your breathing so that your diamond begins to pulse gently in time with your breath, breathing with you, drawing in energy through all of the facets, all of the windows, fueling the opening of your heart center. Aligning you with the essence and energy of the love that is your birthright, the love that is your core, the love that represents your sacred relationship with yourself. Just allow that pulse and flow to gently expand and build the warmth and experience of that love, as from your open heart center it flows out into every aspect and cell of your body. And it's like feeding all of the cells of your body with an inner smile. As you reach down, turn your attention into your body. Send that smile into your organs, into your bones, into your blood. That smile is carried through the arteries, capillaries, and blood vessels, pumping to the farthest extremities of your being, your physical being. And bring your attention now to your core column, that chain of 8 diamonds that runs from your soul star down to your earth star and around your spine. Begin at the top with your soul star as you begin to spin one at a time your core column of diamonds. Doesn't matter at this moment whether you spin them clockwise or anti-clockwise, just notice which way naturally they wish to go. And as you begin to spin the core column, you enhance and build and amplify the energetic flow through your greater diamond being. Notice if there are any core diamonds that don't wish to move at the moment, that may appear stuck or static. Don't try and force anything, for through the process we will begin to loosen and enhance the movement. And see in front of you now a most beautiful, deep, dark, smoky, black diamond. The black diamond contains all light. It absorbs all light. And like the shadow that moves across the surface of the sun, the black diamond begins to encroach upon your field, enfolding the light of your diamond within it. Slowly and steadily drawing you into the depths of its darkness. Notice how you feel as the diamond begins and furthers its enfolding of your space, its holding of the diamond light. It's almost as if the light disappears within the black diamond, and yet it is there. Allow yourself to surrender into the darkness until it enfolds you completely. And as the solar eclipse itself marks the ending of a cycle, so the black diamond, and being within this space which stimulates emergence from the unconscious, enables you to end a cycle within yourself. Just rest into the space, becoming comfortable within the depths, the quiet, the stillness of the black diamond space. Notice any fears that arise within you within this space. And take your attention now up to your soul star energy center at the top of the black diamond. And from this you see an opening, a funnel that connects with the energies beyond the sun into the darkness of space, and to a stream of invisible light emanating from the planet Mercury, Neptune. Neptune being the planet that governs our spiritual essence, brings an energy that moves and flows like water, and yet it's invisible. And the governing energy from Neptune flows through the sun, through the darkness, down into your space, your diamond, your black diamond, like a stream of silk, like the gentle flow of a waterfall. And as it flows, it gently dislodges and moves aspects within your psyche and unconscious that have been projections and projected out into your visible reality. Like shadows moving within the darkness, you feel and are aware of a stirring within you as the Neptunian energy flows through every aspect of your unconscious self. Just allow the flow to take place, observing, feeling. What emotions arise as the Neptunian energy moves within the darkness? Beneath the surface of all that is visible. Where do you feel it in your body? Where are you aware of it? And as water erodes rocks and changes the landscape, so this flow of watery-like Neptunian energy begins to dislodge and to reshape and carve out within your unconscious inner landscape, dislodging, removing grains of patterns or beliefs from within your energetic unconscious realm, opening them up like the eggshell cracking. The force of the spiritual essence itself brings the energy for emergence. It is time. And as your inner vision and sight adjusts to this dark, you see shadows, projections beginning to form within your black diamond. Projections of patterns that have been and are being dislodged by this Neptunian energy. projections that desire to be loved, accepted, faced, brought out of the shadow of denial, and brought into the light of day. Hold your space, hold your core within this darkness as you simply allow the energy to shift, to move, and to act like an internal projector, showing you what may have been suppressed, hidden, standing in the way of you being able to live your full purpose, illusions or dreams that have masked your deepest alignment with purpose, your soul's dreams. Just watch and look at all of the shadow projections emerging around you and in this space. How do you feel observing and being made aware of these? Ask for whatever sits deep within your unconscious to be brought up for your embrace and awareness. For our ultimate purpose in the grand plan of life is to make all that is unconscious conscious. And the black diamond spins, and like a spinning movie show, you watch silently all the projections, all of the movies playing out that have become a part of your illusory reality, that have masked the truth. And from your soul star now emerges, dropping into your black diamond, the sacred relationship light code. And it feels like a beautiful pendant being placed around your neck. In the deep dark magenta, in fact it's so deeply colored that there are just traces of light, enabling you to see it within the black diamond. You're aware of it because you can perceive the movement of energy of the light code. And the light code around your neck acts like a magnet for the projections that are spinning around within your black diamond. For everything that we are, everything that is unconscious and unseen, desires to be loved. Every fear, every conflict is to be brought into sacred relationship with ourselves, into a place of compassion, peace, joy, and love. And like a magnet, all of those shadows are brought back towards you to be held within the sacred chamber of your sacred relationship light code. Notice again what emotions arise as these projections are brought back towards you to be embraced and enfolded within the code itself. For within the code exists only love. And as each one is brought into the holding chamber of the sacred relationship code, it is transformed. Allow yourself to project from the depths of your being the love that you deserve into each of the projections. Each of the fears, each of the inner demons that has resided within the depths of your psyche. Everywhere that you have felt invalidated by others, by programs, by beliefs, by culture, by family. Allow those projections to be brought back into the love, the loving space of the sacred relationship code. And as each of these is transformed, changes take place within your body, within your DNA. Feel, observe, be aware of what is happening now within your internal landscape. Until all that is left within your space is this mysterious magenta glow around your neck and a peace that passes all understanding. And like the shadow that moves across the surface of the sun and brings back the light, your black diamond now begins to move on and out, allowing you to bring the renewal of the adjustments that have been made within your psyche, of the transformations of your unconscious into the light of your new cycle. And as you emerge from the darkness, take a look at your diamond. Take a look at the core column and how each one of your core diamonds is now spinning. Set the intention now for all of those diamonds to spin in a clockwise direction. And as they do, energy is cast out like brilliant light through your diamond, projected out into the world around you, into the 3D reality. What projections and reality do you now see taking shape and form around you. As you now see with greater clarity in the light, the new light, the brilliant light of a brand new cycle, the brilliant light of your love, self-love, the brilliant light of your sacred relationship, the brilliant light of your wisdom emerging from deep within, and of your purpose that is aligned with each step that you take, with a new life being created, taking form, taking shape. Do you feel the lightness in your body? Feel the spring in your step as you prepare to take a new step forward in a different direction. Which direction do you desire to move in? Where are you being drawn? What messages are you receiving about the truth of your sacred purpose and your life direction? See yourself now with arms open wide, spinning your entire body, even as your core column spins and twirls. With arms open wide, you spin with joy, casting your light, projecting that light onto others' shadows, enabling the illusions to be seen and made visible. And each one of you connected as part of this diamond gathering joins their light as a spinning circle, gathering around the planet, amplifying and growing the light. All the unconscious that has been made conscious. And as you spin, you throw your head back with a beautiful smile on your face, and that smile that courses through the blood in your veins into your cells and organs is beaming broadly, happy, joyful. Feel the laughter. Be aware of the upliftment as you have shed eons of baggage through this facilitation with the cosmic energies, through the window we have been gifted with. Let it go. And notice over the coming days and weeks how your purpose and the magic show up in your life with greater clarity. How it appears with definition. How the magic that you are able to create is effortless. And whenever you need to go back into the black diamond, allow it to facilitate, yet more releasing from the unconscious projections embedded within your being, and then step back out into the new light, the refined light. This is a process of refinement that you are going through, and this refinement will continue for the next 6 months. Each step you take enables you to further refine the energies flowing within and through you. Simply surrender and be in humility and gratitude to the power of your highest, greatest self, to the divine that is you, and to the purpose that the divine you in sacred relationship with self, with your physical self, is expressing out in the world. Allow the spinning to now slow down. As you bring your rejuvenated, refreshed, renewed, revitalized self back into the present, into this moment. Feeling the magic that is alive within you, the love that flows through you, the joy that is smiling in and from you, the alignment. With the cosmic flow and the divine flow of all that is, and the perfection of this moment. Take a deep breath. Breathe out as you allow your consciousness to return to the waking state. Deep breath in and breathe out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and welcome back. How are you guys doing? Are you back? Yasmina says was very far away. Yes, I know. I actually felt that sort of really deep. There was a beautiful lightness. Yeah, there we got. Elaine says escaped into that black diamond, was gone most of the time. Yeah, that was. It was. That was really deep. What I was seeing as we were doing that black diamond thing, almost like those, I don't know how to describe it, it was almost like a circular movie thing with all of these shadows playing out and spinning around within, but it was all in darkness. It was just quite incredible. Towards the end with that spinning was that amazing lightness. So there's a lot that was happening at a very, some of it's probably at a very, very unconscious deep level that's only going to become evident over the coming days and weeks. John says feeling present and refreshed. Brilliant. Yeah, that's the feeling that I have too. But it really is something coming out of the depths, both within and from a consciousness perspective. Really out into the light. How about the rest of you? How are you doing? We've got some messages. Yasmin says it feels refreshing. How do you best work with the black diamond? Am I entering the diamond? You know what, Yasmin? I actually find with the black diamond that it is most incredible. When you set the intention, I work with it in many, many different ways. When you set the intention and call in the black diamond. It basically does whatever you need it to do. So you know, I've actually got, when I do space clearing, for instance, or I'm looking at aligning the energies of the space, I often call in the black diamond, which appears as a sentry on top of the property or whatever it is, and it looks absolutely amazing, and then it gently spirals and kind of hoovers stuff up. And one of my students in Joburg uses it with space clearing as well, but she sends in like armies of these tiny black diamonds into the space, and she says you won't believe what happens when they go in. It's a very intentional thing. You really just call it for whatever purpose you want to work with it. So we got a couple of comments. That makes sense. Okay, fantastic. Max says merging with all and nothing. Yeah, absolutely. And that really took us deeply into the black diamond energies and what they represent. And in fact, Max, we're working with the black diamond again. The synchronicity of this diamond alchemy program has just been amazing. So we're going to be working with it again later. Margaret says, released a dark victim consciousness to be set free, soaring as an eagle, fierce and free. Ah, Margaret, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Well done. Thank you. Elaine, want to laugh? Like all of us coming out of being in a dark closet. Yes. Like bumping together in darkness, but not quite. Electrons together manifesting a new element. What a lovely analogy, Elaine. Thank you. That's a beautiful, beautiful description. So that's what it felt like. It felt like being very childlike again. You know how children spin, you know, and just throw their arms out, and they just have such joy in that movement. That's what it felt like at the end. For Angelica says, for me, the waterfall tried to clean the black diamond. Now that's interesting, yeah, because it's almost as if the black diamond itself doesn't need clearing because it is what it is. But what the black diamond facilitates is the opening of the spaces within us that require the clearing, that require the cleaning. So that's really beautiful. Because it connects us deeply with those aspects of the unconscious. It's an amazing journey because it contains within itself everything, you know, sort of conscious and unconscious. So what have we got? Elaine says, oh yes, when we were hearing the same words, new element. Yeah, manifesting. I like that, ladies. Well done. Beautiful. Beautiful analogy. And that's what the transformation is. It is about creating. We know how scientifically anyway they're always finding and creating new elements. So let's be part of that process where we create a useful, very powerful element that's going to be, what's the word? That becomes a part of the new fabric of reality that's used to build the new reality, because that's what we are, and that's what the diamond grid ultimately is. Beautiful. Oh, wonderful, everyone. Thank you so much. I am not going to keep the call going too long because I do have the alchemy program to also prepare for and to get ready for in a short while. So I'm going to say thank you to you all, and I hope you enjoy coming out into the light, into this new space. Isn't there just a new feeling of joy and lightness? So enjoy being in that space. Obviously the process will be put up so that you can work with it again, or, you know, now that you've got the essence of it, continue using it. You've got that light code hanging around your neck. Just draw everything into it and hold it close to your heart. Elaine, oh bless you. You did it again, Julie. We are all such bright diamonds. You are. You're beautiful. And I love you all. And I, you know, often I never know quite where the process is going to take us when we go into it. So it's just, I know that every one of you that's actually on the call is a part and parcel of directing that process. So I want to thank you for actually being such beautiful shining diamonds, and I love you. Look forward to the next opportunity. I think the next one is going to be the equinox, which is 21st of March. So lots of love and blessings to you all. I'd love to hear from you now that I'm back online and back connected again. Would love to hear from you in respect of your experiences and how you move forward from here. What gifts and what magic you become aware of in your world. And in your reality. So, love you all. Have a fantastic day further. Enjoy this amazing solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse, dark moon solar eclipse, and just shine bright, because that's who you are and what you are. And much love to you all. Okay, bye.